Hi, my name is Anthony. I'm a new dungeon master in training. I am about to run my fourth session of D&D. I've never done this before. Previously on Anthony Plays D&D, I've only ever played. I played as a sorcerer in one mini campaign once where I only got to play about four times, and then after that I got to play a half-elf bard in a show called Critically Stupid for a while. You can still watch it on YouTube. I'll post the links and stuff below. But I've never had a chance to actually play as like be a DM and like weave these tales. So I was excited to get the opportunity, but also very nervous. So I decided, all right, here we are. We're gonna do this thing. So here I am prepping session four, and I find myself starting to overthink it a little more than usual. Where I'm like, oh no, like what if the party? I don't want the party to get bored with like the same formula of like a kind of a hero's journey of like there's something, some kind of call to adventure. They go, they either accept it or they decline it. There's something that makes them want to accept it or go on some journey in some way to find something. They eventually search through a series of, events and engagements and such and, fight the bad or, just find whatever it is that they're looking for and eventually return back to where they started. And, it's like, I know it can be rewarding to experience that over and over, but I'm just like, oh my God, what if the party hates it? But also that's just what D&D is, right? Will you please, if you're watching this right now, comment below to give me a peace of mind, to let me know, like, what are some experiences that you really enjoy about, in D&D? What are some things that you've had your parties do or that you've done as a player where you've been like, oh yeah, this is cool. This feels like a fun break from the norm. Or I just really enjoy freaking kicking down a door and, like being my character. Like I like having the opportunities to do these things, which is why I play the game. And life might have these like circular moments, but that's fine because it's just the nature of existence. I don't, whatever, or the fictional existence, both. So anyway, you let me know because I'm worried because previously on this D&D campaign, in the last session, there was a call to adventure and they went and they found this town and they helped this blacksmith and these other people who were trapped in these their respective buildings because the entire town had been enslaved by this mad gnome scientist who was like out to craft this portal using science only because he hated magic and he wanted to destroy it all. So he was trying to get to the Fey realm because he had, nefarious purposes and, reasons. He's going to do terrible things. He's going to, be the bad guy over there. So they stopped this gnome. It was hilarious. They ended up destroying these fake beholders that I had, which really enjoyed crafting those. I created these mechanisms, like these beholders that were sort of like vehicles that were being driven by other little gnomes, and the party was initially terrified of them because they thought they were real beholders, and I gave them this sort of like light weapon, like like almost like a scientific, like a laser beam sort of thing. It was all very like mechanistic and almost like steampunky, but once they realized that, they were less terrified of it and more like interested, and also like we're going to destroy this like monstrosity, this affront to nature, and so they did, and they fought it, and then they eventually found their way to this church where this gnome had enslaved the entire town, and it was pretty fun. Like it was really interesting to watch like how they found their way into the building and were they were very subtle and sneaky about everything, and I loved it. I thought it was really cool, and it ended up being a really fun battle, and I got to improvise like a lot of things I wasn't expecting. And then they beat the crap out of this gnome and threw him down. I was like, oh my gosh, he's not dead, but he is. I'm interested to see like what that gnome character might come up with next. Like he might be like, I'll get you next time, because he's not dead. They didn't like cut off his head or anything. He's there. He's just being imprisoned. So we'll see. We'll see if he returns. But now here I am preparing for session four. And of course, the party so far knows that the world at large, or at least like their chunk of the world that they're overseeing and that they're responsible for, is in peril. Like it's in ruins, it's in peril. It's a world in chaos. It's a city on, several cities on fire essentially. So they've taken care of the city to the north. Now they have three other cities that have issues, and they are the ones responsible. At least that's what they've accepted. That's the burden that, that's the way their particular dice have rolled so far. They can, of course, abandon this quest and go off and just like find dragons or whatever, or start like a winery. I don't know. They can do whatever they want, but This is where the quest has led them. So now I know it feels a little formulaic because there are three more cities. So how do I keep this interesting? Let me know below. So for this session, we're going to be playing on Saturday. I've developed a situation which there's not necessarily like the same sort of call to adventure. It's not someone running in saying like, I need help. But what they will encounter is a vampire hunter. They're going to be introduced to a vampire hunter who finds himself in their tavern, in the place where they stay, and the vampire hunter's not going to be seeking their help. He's just going to, convey that he's on his way to this particular town that they are also, supposed to be protecting. And he's going to say like he's heard that there are vampires there, and it's what he does is he collects, vampire fangs, and he's going to stop them. So of course, I like that's a soft call to adventure. Go help this vampire hunter. Maybe he'll offer them something. Maybe like they will want to help. But maybe just like having that information, at least some of the characters might be inspired to go because some of their backstories are heavily ingrained in like vampire lore, and also like just terrible things have happened to them because of vampires, and maybe that will kind of trigger something in them, and they'll feel like I'm gonna go do this, and then we're off on a quest. But I don't know. They could always just be like, all right, well, good luck on your vampire hunt, and then just like play pinball. I know my friends and my party well enough to know that that's not going to happen yet. They're going to get me eventually. I know it. I know it. But this time, this is my plan, okay? I'm assuming they're going to follow this vampire hunter or go with the vampire hunter to this place. And I really think it would be fun if the entire town were frozen as statues by basilisks. I'm a little concerned because I know basilisks like can be kind of like they're strong, they're tough, they're very formidable. This party has never seen them before. So maybe I should stick with one. You let me know in the comments, and like I'll take that into account before Saturday if I can. But I'm gonna figure this out. But I like the idea that a basilisk has frozen all of them because it's being controlled by a vampire. So there's a vampire in this town that's staying in this large estate off to the edge of the town. It has this basilisk that's essentially freezing its prey in a web of sorts, like it's freezing, it's creating stone dinner, it's like TV dinners, that he can then later microwave when he's ready. So I like the idea that there's this vampire that's off in this estate. He has this basilisk that's like guarding the place and also providing him with meals. And then everyone he eats one by one is becoming a spawn of his. So then they'll do his bidding. So now there's like a small, not an army, but there's a small militia of vampires that roam the streets as well, helping this basilisk or like burying the dead as the master feeds and such. And they're slowly working their way through this town. So it's going to be the job of the party to go and stop this vampire, essentially get rid of the basilisk and like either cure or get rid of or do whatever they can with the vampire spawns. But I like that. I like the idea of the basilisk freezing the people to be later consumed by a vampire. And then I like the idea of the vampire up in the tower. It is a little similar to there's always a big bad like off somewhere, and then you have to kind of make your way to them. I'll break it eventually. Like I will come up with like fun ways to break up that template. But I do so far they've been having such a great time doing this, and just they last session was excellent, and so they're enjoying just making choices as their characters and just interacting with the world. So they're still in that novel space of like no matter what you throw at me, it's a good time. So I'm just like, heck yeah, let's do this. Doesn't mean I want to make it boring. So I'm gonna do what I can to keep it interesting. I'm trying to like I'm tethering each story in some way to one of the characters' backstories, and or at least like in some way it will kind of enhance their characters' lore overall. So their specific or respective journeys will, be enhanced over time, and they'll feel like they're making some progress as a character beyond just like XP or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping it goes well. It feels a little formulaic, but also kind of cool because they've never done vampire stuff. It's also going to be my friend's birthday party that he doesn't know about. So I've planned this vampire thing because he and I bonded over the movie The Lost Boys. So like this vampire hunter that comes in is going to be from the Brotherhood of the Frog. If you've seen Lost Boys, you know that they're the Frog Brothers vampire hunters. His name is going to be Poe because the vampire hunters in the Lost Boys are Edgar and Allan. So it's going to be Poe from the Brotherhood of the Frog, which I just like. is goofy, but I freaking love it so much. Anyway, and yeah, so they're going to fight this vampire and help Poe. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Poe will be petrified by the basilisk, and it'll be part of their job to hunt a vampire and do it all on their own, even though they have this. Oh, I like that idea. What if, okay, what if there's a group of the vampire spawn and they come out and we just get to see Poe all by himself be like a super badass. Like they don't see the basilisk yet, right? They just see these vampires and Poe is just destroying them, just killing them, like just stake through the hearts, like beheading, all kinds of badass stuff. Like he is Blade, he is Buffy, he is, like Bluffy. And as soon as he's done, I like the idea of like he puts his stake away and then he gets petrified by the basilisk. And now they're like, whoa, wait, what? And then they have to like fight or run or do whatever they can, but like it's not going to stop the fact that this vampire hunter has just been completely petrified by a basilisk. He's not going to be able to help them with the main vampire. And if they want to help him, they have to go stop the vampire and also save him from the petrification. I like that. I think that's a cool idea. I think it creates like a couple of fun scenes for them to like experience, but also like it's like kind of tread in, like how what do we do now? I like that situation where it's like, so it's not going to be so open world that they're going to be like petrified by indecision. So I imagine they're going to go there, see this badass vampire hunter get petrified, fight this basilisk, realize there's another basilisk who might petrify one at the party. I don't know. I don't want to like I don't want to freeze anyone who's in the party and make them be like, "Oh, well, this night's ruined for me." So that kind of stinks. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how long the campaign or how long we'll see how far they get in the session. They've been doing a really good job at just kind of burning through narrative. They're killing it with that. So I mean, I think that's partially, I mean, of course it's partially my fault as the dungeon amateur. But I've created these situations in which there is opportunity for them to interact with NPCs, and sometimes they do, but sometimes they truly don't. Like in the previous session, they could have asked these NPCs so many questions. Basically, one of the NPCs was the priest at the church who had the key to the back of the church. They could have gotten in there with no issues whatsoever, but instead they did this whole like stealth mission. It made it fun. I mean, there would have been, obstacles the other way as well, but like I love watching the way that they explore everything, the way they get through everything. So I imagine this isn't going to be much different. We'll see. We'll see. Like hopefully they have fun and they do talk to the NPCs that are presented to them and that they do explore the things that they can possibly explore. I'm not sure how they're going to stop the petrification or how they're going to fix that. I know that like it's suggested in the book that you need a greater healing spell or some other magics. And I mean, I think that's pretty open to interpretation, so we'll figure it out. I might just make a magic shop in the city that they're going to be in, like in the town that they're going to be in, so they can go and like find books and maybe discover something similar, or I do like the idea of the basilisk's blood also being able to cure the petrification. So maybe like when they destroy or like if they're fighting a basilisk, you can see its blood splash on one of the statuesque people, and you can see there are maybe molting of the kind of glazed stone, it becoming slowly more organic and mobile. I like that idea too. So maybe we'll do that, or maybe we'll do something where they see the vampire has some sort of amulet around their neck that helps them control the basilisk, like a basilisk like eye or something. So or like a I think that's probably the most likely thing, like a basilisk eye amulet. So then maybe if they get that, they can control the basilisk creatures and then maybe stop the petrification. Or it seems a little easy though. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna figure it out. Let me know what you think below. Let me know if you've ever used vampires or basilisks in any of your campaigns. This is my first time ever trying either. I hope it's fun. I think it will be. I don't really know what other things to plan for. So I know I have vampire spawn, basilisks, and the main vampire fight. I'm not sure if I should do any other kind of like undead creatures or if that's going to be enough for this campaign. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, I don't know what else to plan for. So let me know if you think of anything below, and maybe I'll see the comments before I get to the campaign. But I will let you know how it goes. We're going to play this week, and I'm just hoping it's a good time. So far, it's been going great. Thank you all for all of your tips and your pointers and all of your suggestions. It really does help, and it means a lot to me that anyone watches this stuff. Also, I'm mostly just doing this to keep track of what I learn and like how the campaign goes, and maybe my friends will watch this in the future and be like, "Oh yeah, we did that," and But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We also talked as a group about maybe filming a campaign in the future, or like filming part of the campaign as we go. Like maybe once they, get through a couple more of these towns, we'll see. I just want everyone to be happy and comfortable, and I don't want to like ruin the vibes or whatever. So but everyone seems really into it, and they actually suggested it to me, and I've been the one who's been like, I don't know, because I don't know, like who you let me know. Do you watch D&D shows? Do you want to see like a mostly unedited D&D real play show in which, you can watch me do this and then see how it goes? Because I don't know. I don't know if that's anything anyone cares about. I just like doing this so I can keep track of everything also. But and just get as many tips as I can from people who know more than I do. Because like honestly, I've just been like Googling a lot and asking like Chat GPT like how do basilisks work? And that's how that works. Otherwise, I'm just like I'm just slave to the books. I don't know what I'm doing. I do like how open to interpretation a lot of D&D is and how much fun it is to just improvise through the world building as you go. So I have learned pretty quickly as much as I am like like kind of an overthinker, a worrier, and someone who technically just I plan a lot. I tend to plan a lot more than I need to. But I've settled like last session I settled down a lot where I was just like, you know what? I know the main bad. I know why he's there. I know what he's doing, and I know what they're going to come up against. So here we go. And I just like did it in a few hours really. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think this will work. And it did. I think that might also be where some of my insecurity comes from, where I'm like, that was easier than I thought. Wait a second. I do know I could have spiced it up a bit. I could have made it a little more personal to some of their characters. I could have maybe had the encounters be a little bit more. I could have led them more in the NPC conversations, so maybe they would discover some of that stuff. I'm still learning those things and trying to figure all of that out, navigating the difference or like navigating the balance of like railroading and sandboxing and like allowing them the open world while also facilitating a narrative of sorts. So I'm still learning these ropes and figuring it out. I think I'm doing okay. They are having a great time, and they text me afterward and they're always just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till next time. And I'm just like, freak yeah, freaking did it. But I'm still gonna worry. I'm still gonna overthink, and I'm still gonna overplan. But I'm trying to get a little bit better every week. Where I'm just like, okay, these are the bad guys. This is what the situation is. These are their options, and hopefully they accept some of them. I'm waiting for the day where I'm going to have to improvise an entire freaking just one shot campaign or whatever or it's gonna throw us off into some weird crazy multidimensional like otherworldly Fey war or something. It's just anyway. Or I'm just gonna if they ever do that to me, I'm gonna throw them into like 50 Shades of Fey. That's what I'm gonna do and be like, oh yeah, you meet a man. Or is he a man? He's a satyr. He's a satyr. You get it. And it's gonna get real weird real fast. And that's what they get for not freaking sticking to the script. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know. I will improvise though, and I will figure this out. I will be a dungeon master one day with your help. I do appreciate you. Thank you for watching this. I'll make an update soon. I'll let you all know how that session goes and how everything goes. But until then, thank you so much. If you want to talk to me on, Twitter, X, or whatever, you can. I'll post the links below. Otherwise, you can see my weekly show. We have issues every Wednesday. I make comic books. You can comic books. I just got that new rack because we're gonna do a convention this Saturday right before D&D. Hopefully that goes well. I don't know. Making comics is weird, and being a person is weird. So this was what we're doing. But yeah, thank you again. I really appreciate all of you. I hope to hear from you, and I really just can't thank you enough.